Today we're going to turn 2 pieces of 12 by 12 pattern paper into 8 cards using the SheetLoad Rewind. Hey, it's Beth. Welcome. Today is the January SheetLoad Rewind, and this time we are rewinding back to January of 2023. So this means that Come Crafty has pulled the January 2023 SheetLoad sketch out of the vault, and it will be like free and available through her video for a short time. So if you don't have this one, now is the time to get it. And there is a playlist linked in the description box below for the other participants who are playing along with the rewind this month. So check that out to see how everybody uses the January sketch from a couple years ago. Today I'm using a couple of sheets of the Love Story collection. I've been trying to work through what's left of this collection this month, so I am going to continue that by using a couple of sheets for my cards. And today I'm actually going to be kind of converting this to make A2 cards. So stick around if you would like to see how I do that, and let's get started. This was a special mini slimline edition, but I really wanted to make A2 cards today. And so I did some planning and measuring and figured out how I could convert the cuts to still make this a no scrap, or to make this a no scrap sketch for these 2 sheets of pattern paper. So I'm doing a 4 by 5 1/4 inch card mat. So I'm able to cut 4 of those from each of the sheets. And then I do, for that kind of rectangle element there in the middle, I ended up doing a 2 by 4 1/4 inch panel. So I'm also able to get 4 of those from this sheet. And then for that strip that goes across the middle, I left it at 1 inch as what she had, and then increased the width to, or the length. The width was still 1 inch, and the length I just increased it to 4 so that it covers my card mat panel. So I'm still following the design of her sketch, so I'm still going to have that rectangle panel. Mine just is going to be smaller than, it's not quite as like centered or to scale on my card as it is to hers, but then I'll still have that strip going across, and then the circle sentiment piece that is down there on the, like, across the strip. So I will cut both pattern sheets the same way, and then any of the scraps that are left over I am able to put on the inside of the card, and it does turn this into a no scrap sketch for me. And so I used 2 full sheets of pattern paper, which I love. So I did harvest some 2 1/4 inch circles out of my card mat there, and that will be going behind my sentiment piece. And then I did, kind of based on the pattern paper pieces, I did create mats for each of those pieces using some of the red cardstock as well, just because it's some busy patterns and I wanted there to be like an offset between the 2 busy ones, the 2 busy patterns, just so your eye kind of has a resting place, or, you know, a separation. This is that vertical panel that's in the center of Alicia's card. I'm going to offset it to the right just a bit, since it's not going to be like a fully, it doesn't fill the full center like the sketch. And then we'll add my strip down to the mat. Now on this particular strip, I did turn it over to the back side so that I could have a little bit of a contrast. So I will have a 3rd pattern on one set of the cards today. The other set just uses the 2 front patterns. Then I have a Valentine sentiment that I have already stamped and cut out with my 2 inch circle punch, and then we'll add that onto my 2 1/4 inch mat. So there's a video in the description as well from Alicia, and she tells you how you can access the January 2023 SheetLoad for the short time that it will be available. So again, if you are new to SheetLoad and you don't have this one and you like mini slimlines, please be sure to grab that before it goes back into the vault. I wanted to pop up, well, not really pop up, but I wanted to add layers behind the top left part of my circle so that it would kind of lay flat across the card a little better. So I just used some of the scrap cardstock that I had left. I think I ended up using like 3 pieces of cards, the 12 by 12 cardstock for all of my matting layers. And I did have one bigger chunk, like a kind of like 3.5 inch piece left of my pattern paper, or of my cardstock, but I used up all the rest of that and then all of the pattern paper. I decided I wanted to add a little something to the card to embellish, so I looked at those pink hearts, but they weren't quite the right color of pink, so I just decided to go to some of the scraps of the red cardstock I had and punch some little hearts. So this is how I use up the rest of the red cardstock, other than that one like 3.5 inch piece that I said I had left. And I do add these to all of my cards as some embellishment. Just trying to figure out if I want them all in that left corner, but I do end up liking having one kind of right to the right of my sentiment circle, just to kind of add a little pop of color there and balance it out. We'll get those glued down. If you are new to SheetLoad, I should tell you that every month Alicia from Call Me Crafty Owl puts together a PDF that contains a card sketch, supply list, and cut list that helps you make a set number of cards like really quickly and easily. And she does put that out each month. It is free as long as you are a subscriber to her channel. So it's a great deal and a great way to get a batch of cards made. So once I put this strip in, I am done. Here are my 8 A2 size cards from the January 2023 SheetLoad of Cards, so adapted from the mini slimline. I love how these came out. Of course, I'm a pink lover, so I love all the pink. I did try to offset some of that by pulling in some of the red that was in one of the other patterns, but hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I adapted the SheetLoad to what I needed. Again, please be sure to check the playlist linked in the description box below for the other participants in the SheetLoad challenge or collab today, and then also check the link for Alicia, her video, to find out how you can access the January 2023 SheetLoad if you don't already have it. Thank you guys so very much for your time today, and hope you all have a very crafty day.